Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Shag with Ray. I'm here with my good friend Paul Brown. We're in your home tiki bar called the Riviera Room, which is based after a car.
Yep.
And it's good that it's a cool name, like a Riviera, and not like a Citation.
Riviera is a very cool car.
Yes, it is.
Wish I still had it.
And you are the inspiration for this series because you have a lot of shag. You have a lot of shag. Well, this is an original print. No, not even a print, an original painting of shags. Yeah. Shag actually did an original piece for you and your wife as you got married.
Yeah.
You have several prints that we will talk about in future episodes.
Great.
But one thing that you also have is you have a lot of shag stuff that's like on multimedia.
Yeah.
Because, well, there's a lot of, let's be honest, shag stuff's not cheap.
Yeah.
Let's say you want a little piece of shag. Mm-hmm. Well, there's other ways you can do it. And is this shag?
Yeah, that's a shag pillow. There's another shag pillow right here that they sell online or at their store in Palm Springs.
I wonder if anyone tried to frame these at all. Hanging them up on
Well, this is actually a print that they sold too.
Yeah.
So.
And then you have over there, you have a bag.
Yeah. This is actually really neat. And if you look close at it, can you tell what that is? That's the same material that they make seatbelts out of.
Yes.
Like more like kind of vintage style seatbelts.
Yeah, totally.
So it's a seatbelt bag, which I think is just a...
Is that what they call it, a seatbelt bag?
I'm not 100% sure, but that certainly was part of the story when they were selling it, that it's made out of seat belts, and you can kind of see it's, rows of seat belts with the image on it. And this is actually, we use this as our pool bag. So when we go to the pool, there's probably even pool stuff in there. Maybe some, there you go. There's my
goggles.
My kids' goggles, and it's really, really cool. It's going to be very... very durable as well, made out of that material.
I was a shag bag, but I never thought I'd see a shag bag made out of essentially seatbelts.
Yeah, and my wife even has a couple of, I didn't grab them, but like shag purses that they've done over the years that have little bamboo handles on them that are pretty neat as well.
And even if you go to the store, even the bag that you're going to put whatever in is cool. Do you have that bag?
I do. Yeah. I mean, look how cool.
Like even that's cool.
I mean, what a cool bag. And, you buy merchandise and this is the bag they give you, but you got to keep that bag. It looks way too neat to...
You can frame that.
To get rid of. Just the colors and everything. That's pretty cool.
Is that a record player?
That is. And this is actually
is it really?
Yeah. So this is
so that's not a lunchbox.
No, this is probably one of the more recent shag things that I bought. I bought this came out within the last year, and like people who know shag, or if you
look at that, there's even
a big tiki rum barrel in there,
and a tiki.
Yeah. And one thing
does this work?
It does. Yeah, it's my record player for. It's not plugged in now, but for it's. I even have some shag artwork records that I put on the Martini Kings, which are a fantastic band that he did the cover artwork for.
So there you go. I wonder how much it would cost to have Shag do an album cover for you.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, he actually did the artwork for a lot of the bands he was actually in.
Yeah.
So imagine all the money that he saved. It's like, all right, what's the idea for the next album cover? Don't worry, guys, I have it covered. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and one thing that for people who don't know Shag as well, one thing that's very common with things that he puts out, like the record player, he does them in limited editions. You know, they're not usually open-ended, and so I know that this record player, sold out pretty quickly. Probably, I would say in literally like a matter of days.
Yeah.
And there's quite a secondary market for Shag's artwork. I'm fortunate in having kind of discovered Shag sort of towards the beginning of his career, and a lot of the stuff I bought, when it originally came out versus, secondary market, eBay and so forth. But, I've seen these on eBay, and they're asking probably double of what the price was when it came out.
That shows you the power of his imagery.
Yeah.
All you got to do is slap an image inside that shag game. I was like, well, even here.
Yeah, like and these have become
a lighter,
a Zippo. He did, I think, about
And I love the fact that it's a picture of like a fireplace.
Yeah.
So this is what you use this for.
Yeah. He did, I think, 4 or 5 images of, and these were actually quite a while ago. And I know those are, a lot of people are looking for those. I don't think there was a ton of them that were made.
You got a bunch of cards here.
I do. So
and we're not going to.
Fortunately, as I came across these, even when I first started, following Shag and collecting, I kept a lot of what he did. But one of the things that is really neat when he releases a print, or there's a show or some type of event, he usually does a card associated with it.
Oh, that's cool in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, in and of itself, it's a piece of artwork.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of these I'll put them like on my fridge. I've seen people who've gotten collections of these, and they'll frame them all in one frame. So just a few examples. That's a
Heroes and Monsters,
a Shag show that came out to kind of show you how kind of big he's got. He did a print.
That's Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, for Pulp Fiction, they did a print that was based on a scene from
what's the name of the restaurant?
Oh.
Jackrabbit Slims.
Jackrabbit Slims. That's right.
And remember, it's not Marilyn Monroe. It's Jane Mansfield. They're both of them there, and that's actually Steve Buscemi. Remember, he's the one who takes the order. Young Steve Buscemi.
This one I really like because it's very Palm Springs based, mid-century print, and I actually have that print. I don't have it framed yet, but we kind of want to get that framed and have it be a centerpiece in our living room, which we're kind of.
So are these actually prints that you can get too, like full size?
A lot of them are.
Okay.
A lot of them are. This was kind of something neat that he did this with Stan Lee, and he actually worked with Stan Lee for a little while before he passed away. Kind of, all the from what I read, these were sort of all the characters that Stan Lee wanted in the print, and so Shag incorporated all the.
There's Spider-Man, and then there's the Vulture, Octopus Man, Jack, your Green Lantern. Wow, he's hitting them all.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
This one I'm really glad I kept. This is from 2004. So there was a really cool store in Long Beach, California called the Starlight Room.
Yeah,
kind of a vintage themed store, and Shag did a release at this. So this is a hideaway cocktail bar. So this is the front. It's a print, and it's designed to be recessed into the wall.
Yeah.
And then you can see this folds down and is a table, and then you can have your glasses and your drinks in there. So I was there the night that they had the opening night, and there was like Shag events. There was a line out the door down the block waiting to buy one of these hideaway cocktail bars.
And I love that in the paint it's actually what's going on in the.
This is from 2001.
2001.
So this is the show card for the show where I bought the original painting. Yeah, Otra Gallery in LA. And so this was the card they mail out to people who are signed up on their email list, letting them know when the big opening event night is, and to come and attend the show and check everything out.
How cool.
And this one is neat because I think is the only Shag show that's been in Seattle, and this was
in Seattle.
Yeah, at Otra Gallery, which is really cool, kind of a
Belltown. Yeah,
lowbrow art gallery, and I don't believe it exists anymore. But it was really amazing to see. We knew Shag from our time in Southern California, and then we moved up here, there was still a massive turnout. He's very well known and followed, everywhere. This is a neat card
he's known worldwide at this point.
Well,
right?
Yeah, and this is a great example. So this is from Otra Gallery in Australia, and they actually have for a number of years. They actually have a kind of a very big dedicated Shag area in their gallery. Let's see, I'll show you one or two more. It's just kind of really, I think, a testament to how long he's been.
We're talking about postcards here, and even these are cool.
Yeah.
Mondo Tiki. Yeah.
So I went to this event. This was in Las Vegas. So this was kind of, Tiki Oasis started, and that kind of started growing, and then people started creating other Tiki events. And this one, it was at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, and it was crazy. It was it was a fun event. So I have a huge pile of these, but
you also have a huge pile of magazines here.
Yeah, I do. It's and I think I only still, for as much as I still think I have probably a fraction of what Shag has put out there. We talk about tie-ins of Shag and how Tiki ties in with other areas, and MidCentury Modern. This is a MidCentury Modern magazine that did a big feature article on him, and he did the artwork for the cover. It's interesting, he's several times throughout his career he puts beatniks in his artwork, which are very, very cool.
That's what I love about. It seems to me like he wears his loves on his sleeve with his art.
Incorporates them.
What's Shag into? Well, I guess there's no mystery.
Yeah. And Juxtaposition.
Oh, I remember this magazine. This is going back.
This was kind of like the ultimate lowbrow art magazine, and back in the day, it seemed like Shag was featured in here all the time.
This is like there's a lot of art stuff in here.
Yeah, very, very cool magazine, and I collected this magazine for quite a while, and he did some artwork on some custom guitars.
Custom Shag guitars.
And a lot of people are very familiar with Atomic Wrench.
Atomic Wrench, yeah, they're based out of Portland.
Almost,
not anymore though, right?
No, I think they're out of California now. Almost, I would say, at least every other issue features a house that has Shag prints, hanging on the wall that they take pictures of, and then in this one, just there's always a lot of times full page ads for a show or print, because there's definitely a lot of crossover between the people who like Shag art and like what's featured in Atomic Ranch magazine. Another one. This is
Barracuda.
Yeah, this is probably
another magazine that I remember back in the day.
Probably my all-time favorite magazine. I don't even know. It was listed as America's #1 Stag Magazine. It just kind of covers a lot of things, from everything from like hot rod culture to Tiki to, there's some pinup, burlesque in it, art, a lot of great profiles of people from the past, people like Mike Royko, who was a great Chicago news columnist, to people who were, athletes. But there was a lot of Shag stuff that was, featured in these. And I was trying to look for one. I glancing through, there were...
It just makes me realize that it's like there's all these different subcultures that are all related.
Yeah.
And these magazines are proof positive.
For sure. Yeah.
Or it's one of those things where it's like you're say you're into rockabilly or hot rods. Mm-hmm. Well, you're gonna get pulled into some of these other things too, just by like reading this magazine, because you're like, well, I wasn't into like Tiki, but this looks cool,
Well, I definitely think that's sort of how, my interest kind of morphed out. I kind of started with Shag, and then through Shag, it was like, okay, well, Tiki, and then kind of rockabilly. And so, and this is,
oh, there we go.
Way back in the day.
Otto von Stroheim's Tiki News.
Yeah, that was like kind of the very beginning of the Tiki revival when he started putting out this, and you can tell just by looking at it, is, a very kind of basic, And
the crazy thing is, it's like how you read it is, you don't read it like this.
Yeah.
You read it like that.
Yeah, and there's not even color pictures. The only color,
black and white. From what I understand, their first ones, like this is kind of near the end of when they stopped. But like the very first ones, I think he literally like folded them in half and stapled them himself, and he actually like would go to like record shops and be like, "Hey, can you take a couple of these?" Really DIY, but. Back in the 90s, this was, if you wanted to find out anything about Tiki, this is it.
Yeah,
look at that, but like Shag.
Yeah, it's funny, if you look through, there's little ads, and I think in this one there's an ad for Shag Prints new, and there's one in here for $75.
Hey gang, we'll get back to the Tiki conversation here in just a second, but I want to let y'all know they have t-shirts for sale. They are screen printed in America. The artist is Tony Canepa, and they're going for $20 a piece, $25 including shipping. If you're interested in buying one, go to my website, tikiwithray.com, and then there's a tab that says buy a t-shirt. Click on there and just follow the prompts. So thank you very much.
And so one of my favorite things really to talk about, and one of the things I love the most, are all the different books that Shag has come out with.
So he actually has books.
He has a lot of books. And you know what? The books, I think,
Supersonic Swingers.
Yeah, just in themselves are artwork, and
again, I want to be in this world.
Yeah. And they're great, like coffee table books, and these are a great affordable way to
enjoy his art.
And if you hold up like some of these pictures, what I've seen a lot of people do is he'll print the entire picture on one page.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen people cut these out and frame them, and make very nice, small art for their walls, just out from a magazine that was it was probably $25 new, and you can make all these, if you want, neat little prints to hang on your wall.
Shag has his own level of escapism. These are worlds that I want to be in.
Yeah.
And I'm not alone. Another book?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've got several books. This one was kind of actually the Supersonic Swingers, but this one was first.
Oh, so this is the first one.
Yeah, and one of the things that I love the most about this book is the die cut cover.
Yeah.
So it's open, so you can see through to the image, which I just think...
What does it say here? Paul, to my best friend in the whole world. That doesn't say.
Paul, thanks for buying.
He says you have good taste, I think. Yeah, I think you do, Paul.
Well, Shag might not like me saying this on video, but one of the times when he signed one of my books, he spelled my name wrong. And
how do you mess up Paul?
That's kind of true. But he kind of started with some of the these smaller paperbacks, and then started doing just some kind of amazing, like,
look at this.
Yeah, hardcover, and a lot of them were kind of retrospectives of sort of his entire work to date at that point.
Oh man, look at that! Look at there's your Walt Disney.
Yep, his Walt Disney
Tiki
work.
room, Tiki's.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not even pulling all the ones I have, but one of the things that's so neat
look at this, the art of Josh Agel.
Yeah, you can
and there's weight to this.
Put them all out, and even all the covers. He uses different color schemes and patterns, and just the books are. I mean, they're kind of just eye candy. Even the covers to look at.
Unbelievable. And again, even like this is just some of the stuff that you have.
I just, one of the things that I kind of think about, Shag has branched out into so many different, I would say, kind of like merchandising avenues, which I think as an artist is that's kind of a delicate thing, because if you don't do it right, people think, well, you're selling out. You're just trying to cash in. But Josh has done it in such a way that, I can't hardly think of anything that he's put out that I didn't like or or wish that I could own. So it's very thoughtful in where he does it, and but it's amazing. Even one other thing that he did that I thought was really neat is this was. So this is House Industries, which is a font company.
Yeah.
So there's a CD that came with this. You can buy prints, and so there's Shag fonts that have kind of very retro fonts, Tiki fonts that that you would use for like a Tiki menu or something. But I thought that was really neat that he, you
can even stand this up if you want.
Yeah, you can stand that up, and and then they also sold this print individually as as a print, in and of itself, and I'm just kind of scratching the surface. I'm wearing a Shag Tiki shirt. He's done, gosh, I can't even imagine how many Tiki shirts he's done. I would guess probably at least 20, if not more, since he probably did his first one. Everything from glasses, and that's not even, Tiki mugs might even be another episode.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, Again, Paul, thanks for showing me and our viewers at home a piece of your collection.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more. More episodes to come. I promise you.